All right, we good? Get this here, Brannick juice. We'll try it again. Can't rush these things.
Should be there.
All right, I see that we're up on there. Let's see if we got anything going on here. It says that we're on here now. All right, well, we'll let everybody jump back on here, but sorry about that, guys. We're not great with technology, but that happens.
I think technology is just not that great. So I'm going to blame it on.
Okay, well, there you go. Lot to cover this week. Got Cedar City coming up.
Yep.
And we had an amazing event last weekend in Texas. We're going to talk about all of that stuff here in just a few minutes. Real quick, I want to thank LaserNut for the coverage of this week's WERock Live. I want to thank Maxxis Tires, Metal Cloak Suspension, Drive Shaft Specialist of San Antonio, Brannick Motorsports, Crown Automotive, Spider Tracks Off-Road, Raceline Wheels, Tire Right, Carnage Welders, Axle Helmets, and Behemoth Drivetrain. So let's jump right into just a couple of real quick things for Cedar City coming up here in well, we leave in 2 weeks to head to Utah. So make sure if you guys are planning on staying on site, jump on. You can get your RV, your camping permits. It is April 26th and 27th. And go ahead and get those spectator tickets as well. You can use the 20% off discount code, which is WERock25W2.
Yeah, we're moving already into our third event of the year. And I mean, we did do the East versus West down there in Texas. So we got to see everybody from the East and everybody from the West. And we will be out back West in a month. So there's not a whole lot of much of a break between those two, so
no.
We'll see everybody out West again.
Yep, I cannot wait. Let's, where do we want to start for Texas? It was amazing. It was hot.
Yep.
We ran 4 pro courses.
Yeah,
I think we were 51 competitors again. So our second event, over 50 competitors. So that is super awesome. Thank you guys for coming out. I think we had, I didn't check year over year, but I'm pretty certain we had even more spectators in Texas than we've had in a long time as well. So thank you guys for coming out and supporting the East versus West versus Texas presented by Drive Shaft Specialist of San Antonio. So it was awesome.
It definitely was versus Texas out there.
Yes.
Some crazy rocks, some crazy traction, which leads to breakage. Rollovers, braking, I mean, any timing out, anything that that could go wrong on course happened that weekend for somebody.
Yeah, for sure. Let's hold off. We'll hold off on this topic until we jump in a little bit and kind of talk about how the weekend went for everybody. Do we want to jump into Pro Mod right off the bat and talk about a little bit about Pro Mod?
Sure. if you want to get, can you get Pro Mod scores pull up on the computer there? I will get that. Let me do.
I've got them all kind of pulled up on there. I'll let you take a look at that.
Let me do a little bit of editing here.
All right.
Let me get scores pulled up. So, can you get Pro Mod more up top there?
Okay.
Scroll down a little bit.
Too far?
Too far. One more click. Okay.
All right.
I got a picture-in-picture going on. Hopefully it looks good. So you can still see us doing things over here.
With my hands.
But yeah, we can jump right into Pro Modified. We had four West Coast teams come out. Victor Bunnis, Braxton Coleman, George Liner, and Caitlin Bourne, all out of Utah. Those are the four Pro Mods all out of Utah there. And it was, as always, a tough weekend on Pro Mods. But I was really happy with the courses. I know talking to Braxton, he thought the courses were going to go pretty well for Pro Mods. He thought they were at a good level for Pro Mods. And, well, things did not exactly go Braxton's way that weekend. Saturday, I think he was already sitting third or even fourth place after Saturday. Just could not get the car to bite and be able to finish the courses. But you know who had an amazing day Saturday, finishing all four of her courses and sitting in first place after Saturday was Kevin and Caitlin Bourne. Yeah. That was amazing to see. All four courses completed on Saturday by the Pro Mods. And that car was just working great. And they were driving well and spotting well. It was amazing to watch her all weekend, not just Saturday. Yeah, we can come in. Let's see, Braxton Coleman did find his way back onto the podium in third place. So it was a fight for everybody in Pro Mod. George Liner and Laura Liner came into the shootout as well in second place. And then Caitlin kept her first place there going into the shootout. And what an amazing shootout. I mean, it was a really, really hard gate 1, 2, 3, 4 that just about rolled everybody. Yeah. Like it was, in Pro Modified, it just about rolled everybody. So it was a lot of, it was intense because even, you know, you still have to finish your shootout run. It's still a DNF that can still really swing the points. Yep. So even though no bonuses were done in the Pro Modified shootout, there was still, you still had to finish, and that was a task. That was a really hard task, which all three of them did.
Yeah. So what was really cool for me in the Pro Mods, I mean, obviously seeing Caitlin come away with the win, but she, right off the bat, there was a bonus, and it wasn't huge. It was probably maybe like a 6-foot little vertical lip to climb up in. Braxton drew the short straw. Did Braxton? Yep, and ran first. Yep. But I can't remember. Did Caitlin run second in the running order?
It's a good question.
I saw Braxton struggle on there. He took the cone, but got up the climb. But Caitlin just walked up the climb. Like those trepidors were they hooked up. The wheelbase of the car, like everything just was perfect for a lot of those courses. Moving into day 2 is where things got even a little more crazy because Caitlin did take a DNF on, let me see if I can get that lined up. Yeah, so on A1 and then also on B3, or A3 is where I believe they rolled on that one. Is that
no, they rolled,
the opposite?
They rolled on A1 trying to, I mean, it was a super hard just to get to gate 1. It had you had to drive a big obstacle just to get to the first gate.
Yep.
And that was a struggle. I saw George with his Falcon tires. They were able to just find traction and drive right up the notch and then finish the course, I believe.
Yep. Both Braxton and George completed that course, but Caitlin and Victor did not. Did not get through that notch to even get to gate 1.
So that's a big hit on your score. When you can't even get through gate 1, you don't get any progression points. You don't get any bonus points, which I know George and I think Braxton probably both got the bonus drop on that. So that also would have helped their score out. So it was a super tricky course that it was even after you got through, you could get to gate 1, you still had to fight your way through 4 gates after you accomplished that first climb, and it was probably on low time because it took a while to find the line and find what the car wanted.
Yep. And then moving on to let's see, is it A3? The only person to make the climb. That would be gate 3 over there, next to the tree, was George Liner. Yeah. George and Laura were able to pull that climb off.
I had seen multiple unlimited cars DNF on that climb, and George was able to go out there, get the climb, and do the bonus 4 drop, and shot out the exit gate. So that was amazing to watch, and I just thrashed on the car. Yeah. Really, it was. Yeah. He was, especially on Saturday. If you had seen his post about Saturday, bending the wheel, catching on fire, bending the door bar up. It was not an easy weekend on the Liners, but there they were sitting in second place.
Yep, and honestly, where all of that, where that happened, was just before gate 4, which was only 10 feet from the exit. So he was so close, but he was backing up sideways off of the fin, and the car just cartwheeled off of that. Ended up facing the wrong direction. I heard like a huge leak when he landed, which turned out to actually be the tire and wheel, the air leaking out of that. But I was worried that it was actually a propane leak, because immediately it started on fire after that. So the good news is he was able to reach his own fire extinguisher and got most of it put out himself. He had the
fire extinguisher. He could reach it while belted in and everything, which is why you want to mount a fire extinguisher in the cab of the car that you can reach as a driver. Anything that goes wrong, you can grab that fire extinguisher and get it out yourself. That's the safest way to have an extinguisher outside the car. For your spotter or a judge to grab, and then also one for you inside as a driver, because something happens, you would want a good fire extinguisher. That's why you don't skip out on a fire extinguisher, because when you need it, you want the one that works the best.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that did end their run, but once we got the fire extinguished, they were able to just back right off the course. Car fired right up. It was just some power steering fluid that got on the exhaust.
Yep.
So close. Even considering all of the stuff that went wrong, all he did was put it in reverse and back right off the course. So it was an amazing weekend for George and Laura. They thrashed on that car and pushed as hard as you possibly can. Unfortunately, came up a little bit short, but not by much. Caitlin with a 98 and George with a 105. So very, very tight Pro Mod scores there at the end of the weekend. So congratulations to Caitlin and Kevin. Huge win, picking up both those East and West points. That's a great way to start their season. So
2 second place Pro Mod finishes there just from Texas, and I believe a 3rd place in Baghdad. I think it was
for George.
For George.
Yep. So
And then, but Caitlin takes home the 2 wins.
Yep.
So with the East versus West, that's the thing, is it's big risk, big reward, because it does count as 2 events towards your national championship, your Brannock National Championship. So maybe we will see them in Cedar City as well, and in Reno hopefully, and they can try and fight for that Brannock National Championship. I know Braxton Coleman is going to be fighting hard with his win in Baghdad.
Yeah, that's no joke there. I mean, it's still anybody's game in Pro Mod, and it's those guys are going to be battling hard to bring home those wins as we move into Cedar City. So one of the big things that we wanted to talk about was the tire manufacturer battle that started last season with Milestar.
Yep.
And moving into this season with the Mickey Thompsons. So we did not have any Mickey Thompsons in the Pro Mod class, but we did have Caitlin Bourne on the Treps in first.
42-inch Treps.
George Liner on the 40-inch Falcons. And Braxton Coleman on the 42-inch Patagonias.
Along with Victor Bunnis, who switched over for Texas onto those 42-inch Patagonias.
Yeah, and those Raceline wheels that he put on those Avengers looked amazing on that rig too. So, super exciting. Like this is going to be a storyline that we are going to, follow through the season and see how these tires perform, and it is going to be an exciting one. So, let's move right into the Pro Trail side of things.
I mean, we know who won Pro Trail. You don't even have to look. I know Tyler Harper's coming out hard this year to try and beat 16, 17-year-old Brett Dickey. And Tyler Harper is no joke as a competitor. Long-time competitor, wins in Pro Mod, wins in Pro Trail, and he hasn't been able to catch Brett.
No. On Sunday, A2, they both tied with a -35. A1, they tied with a -35. A4, they tied with a -4. Brett edged him out with a -33, so he took one less reverse on A2. And then he picked up a cone and a couple reverses on A1. But there was a couple courses there, A3 and A4 on Sunday, that Brett was just able to pick up an extra cone on both of those.
Tyler actually picked up,
you know what? I don't know.
Tyler picked up 10 points on A4. Brett took a cone.
Oh yeah, he did. So that was the one course, A4, that Tyler was able to best Brett Dickey there.
But then you have to look at Brett's shootout run.
No, you do have to look at it because it was insane. Brett came into the shootout and he does what he does, which is make the courses look silly, and he just drives all over them.
With a -50 coming out of the shootout, all with the -10 progression and 4 bonus gates, the most anyone had gotten there in Texas out of the Unlimited, Pro Mod, Pro Trail. He had everyone beat in the shootout.
Yeah.
-9
was the next closest. Now, they didn't have to push quite as hard on the Unlimited side. Well, I guess really, you never know. Brett knew he didn't have to push hard either, but he was going out there and putting those points in his pocket, and it was an amazing, amazing shootout.
So, and then something that I want to take a look at real quick is we had 5 Pro Trail in Texas.
Yep.
So, amazing showing. That is the most Pro Trail we've had. With Brett Dickey, Tyler Harper, Jewel Jenkins, all coming out from the West, and then Rich Earnhardt and new-time competitor to the Pro Trail side, Lee and Ashley Hull. They had won the Sportsman A Brannock National Championship last year. They didn't really plan on it, but they had 3 wins, and they're like, well, let's drive like 24, 26 hours all the way up to Pennsylvania and let's see if we can take home the national championship, which they did.
And they did it.
And then Lee was like, all right, well, we're going to Pro Trail now.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Saturday, they attempted a big bonus line on their first course, ate up a lot of time. And then I think it was also that same course, they broke the transmission bell housing. So they had called it for that day, fixed it Saturday night, and went back out on Sunday just to try and get some practice and get more comfortable in the car with no seat time in a newly rebuilt Jesse Haynes chassis.
Yep. And then, so speaking of Lee and Ashley, A4 on Sunday, Tyler Harper had a -25, and they had a -24.
So they had the second
and Brett,
best score.
And Brett had a -15.
Yeah.
So, they did a ton of work to the car in the off season. They cut the front and the back completely off the car, changed, a whole bunch of that. So, not a ton of seat time. I don't know that Lee had any seat time in the buggy really. So
not much.
There were no scratches on it when it came through tech. I do remember that.
Well, actually, it had a little bit of scratch because I think he had the same panels.
He used the same panels.
The same panels, but that was it.
Yep.
The chassis had just been painted like it was pristine. Well, it's not anymore, but they did keep it on all four.
Yep.
And just went out.
No, and
just
I
had
think
fun,
they proved that they can hang in Pro Trail. Their first course that they ended up on over there was by far the hardest course of the weekend, and unfortunately, they had some mechanical issues over there that kind of took them out of day one. But they came back and really showed that they deserve to be in Pro Trail. And, speaking of another team that made a huge effort and a huge improvement over the offseason and showing that they also deserve to be there in Pro Trail, Rich Earnhardt with a new spotter, TJ Tanner.
Yep, it was amazing to see TJ Tanner step up and take over spotting so Cam could focus his efforts driving on Unlimited instead of spotting and driving. It's just, there's so much going on in an event. It's hard to split up your focus between two teams. So it was amazing to see TJ, he actually did split up his time. He was spotting over in Sportsman A and was then running over and spotting for Rich. I know they had comm issues, and they didn't even know, like, we had changed the gate from Saturday to Sunday. They had no idea where it even was, and they went over there because he didn't have time really because he was spotting on
right,
the
and not only is he spotting two people, but he's spotting in Sportsman and on the pro
side.
Yeah, so that's a ton of work, but a great job.
Yeah, they really seem to work well together, and I think it's going to be. I'm looking forward to see how they grow out through the season on the East Coast. There, I think they're going to be a really good East Coast Pro Trail team.
Yeah, for sure. Jewel Jenkins still suffering some mechanical issues from the big break.
Third member.
Yep, they broke ring and pinion. They broke everything from the portal all the way up to the transfer case. Thought they had everything repaired from Baghdad, but sounds like some residual damage in the ring and pinion department there in the back of that four corners 4x4 Pro Trail car. So, but still able to hang into third place there in the Pro Trail and made a great showing in Texas. And Texas is no joke. It is hard. That place is so hard on cars and mechanical there. So, a great job just keeping the car going and managing to hang on to that third spot. Let's look at the tires. So Brett Dickey, we know he's on those BFGs.
Tyler's also back on those BFGs.
Yep, Tyler making the swap from Milestar over to BFG for this.
Jules on Patagonias.
Yep.
Rich Earnhardt is on Mickey Thompson's. He's on a 4217. And Lee and Ashley were on BFGs as well.
Yep. So another exciting little bit there. All right, do we get far enough up to where we can see?
Yeah, I think so-ish. Yeah, We can see it gets cut off a little bit there. Oh, there it goes. I can see everything now. All
Okay.
right. So
a field of 11.
A field of 11 unlimited drivers in Texas. I mean, just absolutely amazing. We ran 2 flights of unlimited, and it was you didn't know where to look. You had it was just with all 4 of those courses running. It was you didn't know where to look. There was so much action, let's see. Brian Malik and what's it?
Tyler.
Tyler, is that who spot?
No, that wasn't who. That's not who was spotting. Yep, it's not coming to me. Brian, if you're on, type that on the Facebooks.
Their first time out in the unlimited class in a 3-link single-seat Jesse Haynes car, and it was awesome to watch them. They had a blast, and I think they finished all but 3 courses. Is that what I'm seeing? A3, they flopped over on Saturday, and then it looks like Sunday they DNF'd A2 and A3.
Oh, man. I'm so tired.
It was a long weekend.
Sorry about that. Even though they did end up with the highest score, like with a 49, like that was not bad at all, and they put on an incredible show. First time unlimited competitors, 2 years running, a full-bodied rig and sportsman, and then all of a sudden, bam, into the top class. Like, they did amazing. And
it was very impressive to see them put together good plans and good spotting and good driving. And it wasn't like I saw them shooting up lines with the best of them.
Yeah, that bonus over there, they throttled right up there, and it was textbook. Like, there wasn't more throttle than they needed. It was the right amount, and it was absolutely perfect. So keep an eye on those guys. That is going to be a fun team to watch. Yep.
Let's see, Steve Marquardt, Kevin Barwell. That is not Kevin Barwell. That is Russell Battles.
Yep.
Spotting for Steve, I think this season. Still hasn't found a fix for his throttle. He has no throttle response, and it just seemed to be getting worse. Like, he had no throttle control. So definitely not the weekend he wanted.
Rough mechanical issues there for Steve. Hopefully he can get that dialed in.
Another East Coast team.
Yep.
Then we go to Sawyer Brassanini and Colin Bruggerman. Man, it was it was a battle.
Solid effort for those guys to thrash and keep that car in the running.
And they did really. Again, I was impressed with their driving and spotting and their game plan. And it's one of the things, the scores don't really reflect how much they fought. Let's see, Sunday I saw him rolled over 3 for 3 on the first 3 courses. I know the first roll they flopped it over. No big issue. We rolled the car back over. He was able to drive off second course. They took out, I believe, a left front axle shaft and a shock. So they were over there thrashing on the car, which it's a portal car. They have to take that whole corner off.
Right. Definitely no fun to get in there and work on that. But they jumped in there and they got it done.
Got the shock on there.
And then put on an incredible show over there on A3.
Rolling into a tree.
Rolling into the tree.
Saving it. And I think still finishing with a negative 14 on A3. It was an amazing show and an amazing effort, and they'll get it. They'll be up there very soon.
And I talked to Michael. They are planning on going to Cedar City, getting up there and doing some practice, and see if they can continue to figure out what they need to do, how to communicate with each other. Colin's learning what information Sawyer is giving him and vice versa. So
working on communication, figuring out how to work better together, and figure out how to make that car work better it's a team effort in WERock. You have to have a good car, you have to have a good driver, and you have to have a good spotter.
Yep.
And
if you don't
that
have
all has to come together for.
Yeah. If you're weak on any of those, you got to make up for it in somewhere else.
Yeah.
So.
And that has to come together for 9 courses to be able to come out on that top spot. Let's see, John Himble, Dave Binkard, taking a role on Saturday. I know they were looking forward to Texas.
And that was really their only issue, a -27, -33, and then the roll on a 3 over there and then a -34. So, like, other than that, like setting, very, very low scores on the rest of the courses. But unfortunately, that
one
roll,
he did not have any bonus points. He had only 2 progressions. So it was a big hit to his score, rolling over on getting to the blue bonus or blue standard.
Blue
line.
standard, yep.
Next was Cam Beasley, James Dunham. Their
the same.
Their first time out in coming out with a new
the 380. Yep, the 386 Fab.
Yep.
Jesse Haynes
say it was
chassis.
a new car, but it's been around a while.
It has been around quite a while.
It's been run hard, and
they have the same story. So -15, -30, 34, and a -34. So. But let's just give a huge shout out to Cam and the Crazy Cruiser Motorsport team. Blew the motor like 2 days before they needed to leave.
They got that
got
motor,
a new
motor
engine in there. Got down to Texas. Also had a portal gear failure, so got the portal gear swapped out, the car put back together and ready to go. And just to even make the event was a huge effort. For those guys coming out of Virginia, and
one of our East Coast Unlimited teams.
Yep, a lot of work there. So congrats. I know it wasn't the finish, but still on Sunday they were all negative scores. It was just that one bad course there on A3 for Cam, unfortunately, but. Similar kind of story. Charlie Melchner out of New York, little Charlie. That's Big Charlie.
Yep, it was. I know. Well, let's see. Saturday, I want to say Big Charlie was 3rd place in points. Little Charlie was like 6th after he had that massive boulder come down and pinch his front tire. And then I watched him on course, and it was a hard weekend for the Melchners. Car issues, running out of time. I saw Big Charlie just shooting out of a course, had 15 seconds, and he was still on gate 3.
Right.
Throttling out, taking cones, taking banners, taking flags, finishing out. Still able to get the 2 tires out of the finish gate before too much more happened.
Right.
But Sunday things moved around. Big Charlie had car issues that day, and little Charlie ended up ahead of him, switching positions.
Yep.
Let's see, and then Danny Benner, also another East Coast Unlimited team. They're working with. I want to say that car is probably like a mid-2000s. Unlimited car, and they've always been right up there fighting, with the best of them. So it was very cool that bright green Unlimited car, always putting on a show.
Always using the horsepower. But that is an old school solid axle non-portal rig, and
that's something to look at.
He was able to use that lower center of gravity, I think, to his advantage over the weekend as well.
One of the only Unlimited cars to make it through one of the blue standard gates without hitting it. Everyone else slid down, hit a lower cone. His car just stuck. No idea how. Dale went out there also in a solid or in a non-portal car, tried to do the same thing, and somehow saved it. No idea how. If you were there watching, bicycling the car like 10 feet up on a wall.
Across the rock face and landing on a 4-foot wide ledge.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. But little Charlie was in 4th place. East Coast team, Dale Stotler.
Yep.
Coming,
Putting that straight axle, old school Axis Fab car.
Yep.
He had a brand new 2-seat car.
Yep, 2-seat Jesse Haynes car.
But he just said he felt more comfortable in the old buggy. And I mean, I can't argue with that. He definitely
put that car in 3rd place there against a flight of 11.
Yeah. And honestly, he only had one course that was in the positive. That was A3, and then that was the course where he bicycled through the 5 gate, or the blue gate over there.
And he did end up taking that lower cone in the process.
Yep. But absolutely amazing driving by Dale Stotler. And I mean, that was, to get that car into the shootout was insane. And he thrashed on that car in the shootout. Again, the same issue that he had to end the season in Pennsylvania out at Roush Creek.
In the shootout,
Yep.
He went out on course and the throttle, it's drive-by-wire, and the throttle quit.
Yep.
He went out, car hadn't had a single issue since then. He went out to the shootout.
And the same thing.
In Texas, and the throttle died on the very first gate.
Yep.
They sat
and
there
it took quite a while.
3-4
cycled,
minutes.
Turned everything off like 3 different times.
Yep.
So
probably spent 3-4 minutes completely dead. Finally got it fired and just hammered on that car. Boulders going everywhere. And just trying to make up points because he went into the shootout 3 points behind Dave Wong.
Yep.
So Dave Wong had a great first day. I think he was leading by like 1 cone or a couple reverses going into Saturday against Michael Brassanini. Except then Sunday, he was first.
Yep, first in the flight.
Was he first on flight?
I think so.
I don't think so. I think he was second or third even on flight. I have to look at the running order. I can't remember. I could be wrong, but he went out on, honestly, probably one of the easier courses. It had a really hard bonus, gate 1 for the blue bonus, super hard climb.
Which he was in the first flight, and honestly, the first flight, most everybody made the bonus climb over there. Yeah.
Yep.
It went away in the afternoon. It was one of those things that was
Brian
super
Malik
weird.
went first.
I
can't remember. But anyways, I was talking to Dave after the event, and he's like, it was just a mistake. Like they just made a mistake, but that resulted in the car rolling over. Which, when you're leading, that's probably not finishing that course is the worst thing that can happen.
Yep.
And Michael Brassanini was right there to capitalize on that, and able to take first right there, and that made that battle against Dave and Dale, that just 3 points there was going into the shootout, but which was awesome to watch. And then Michael just had a very clean weekend. He was able to watch Dave on Sunday and figure out where they needed to be, if they could take cones, skip a bonus, to just make sure they finished and were able to secure that first place. And that's exactly what they did, and that put them at the top of the podium out of 11 unlimited, which we had 2 West Coast teams on the podiums and 1 East Coast, and then a big group of East Coast right behind there. So
they were definitely pushing hard. Michael took the second lowest score on a 1 for Saturday. Set low score on 2. Dave bested him there
on A3.
On A3, so he took second best score there. They tied on A4. But then Sunday, Dave made that little mistake, which kind of got him maybe rattled a little bit, because Michael continued to lay down great scores all day Sunday, and definitely came out on top for the second time at East versus West versus Texas. So,
so that's
he is a big fan of Coutemps Rocks.
Yep.
So.
That's and again we go back to this being the two events, the 2 points, East and West. So he did have that rollover in Baghdad that took him out of the competition, but here he is with 2 wins already coming out of his first event.
Yep. And so similar to last season, but we will try to get him on here hopefully next week and chat with him and see what. Obviously he had a great weekend. So, looking at the tires before we jump off of here tonight, Michael in that number 1 spot with the BFGs, Dave Wong. On the Milestars. Dale also, he was on BFGs still, right?
And then little Charlie on the new Mickey Thompsons on the 4220.
Yep.
Danny's on
BFGs. And then
Big Charlie on Mickey Thompsons. Cam Beasley on Mickey Thompsons. John on Patagonias.
Sawyer's on BFGs. Steve Marcourt is on the Patagonias. And then
he's on BFGs again.
Oh, is he back on BFGs?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yep. He switched. He picked up in the Mickey Thompson invasion. I believe he picked up some new.
He also picked up some like 47, 1550s, which I don't know why he didn't run that. I mean, I don't see any reason being probably 90 inches wide. That fits really good in the WERock courses, but and then Brian Malik on BFGs as well. So just an incredible weekend having 11 Unlimiteds, and it was East versus West, right there in Texas. It's going to be an amazing season going forward. We're going to have so much competition, and definitely that there's going to be a fight for that Bannock National Championship. Yeah, for sure. It is going to be exciting. Make sure you guys jump online. WeRockLive.com and get your tickets for the 26th and 27th at Cedar City. Make sure you use that WeRock 25W2 for the 20% off. And also, competitors, you guys always get your tow rig set up in the pits for free. But you also, if you've got anybody coming with you, jump online and get those camping passes up there. It is going to be an incredible event. I love Cedar City. It's so iconic. We got to watch some footage. That's been a couple months ago. Some old school footage from up there from 20 years ago or so. So it's just such an iconic place, but very, very cool. And we cannot wait to be there here in a couple weeks. So make sure you guys get those tickets. If you've got any questions, give us a shout, hit us up on the website, social media, call us, whatever it takes. But we are looking, if you guys want a vendor space, let us know. And we are always looking for volunteers up there as well. So such a fun area. Looking forward to some great weather. Hopefully it won't be in the 90s up there yet, but also maybe no snow would be cool too. So somewhere in between would be perfect. Yep. It will probably be windy because that's Cedar City. Cedar City, yeah. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. What a blast we had in Texas. You guys put on a great show. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And it was absolutely incredible. Caleb, you did a phenomenal job putting together some amazing courses. I think there were only 4 unlimited cars that did not roll all weekend. So that's... that finished all of the courses. Yeah, or at least finished all. Next Wednesday. It died, I think, for a little bit.
Yeah, I saw you off, but are we back?
Maybe, I don't know.
Metal Cloak Suspension, Drive Shaft Specialist of San Antonio, Brannick Motorsports, Crown Automotive, Spider Tracks Off-Road, Raceline Wheels, Tire Right, Carnage Welders, Axle Helmets, and Behemoth Drivetrain.
All right, we're good. I think it finally just came back on, so hopefully all the audio came through. We'll find out later.
Yeah.